Hey folks, Jim here, Science Talk. I want to discuss something with you that is proven to be of promising research. It's a report entitled Wind Power to Spare, and was produced last year by a research and campaigning group known as Environment America. And what did they look at? They looked at wind turbines, and especially offshore wind turbines. And we'll play a joke here, I guess you could say. For offshore wind turbines, size matters. So as turbines grow in size and the cost continues to decline, offshore wind turbines, both floating and fixed to the seabed, have vast potential. Typically, turbines are pretty much near the coast, anchored to the seafloor, and it's been seen as very promising technology for offshore wind farms. For example, if you fly into Amsterdam, into the airport there, as you're making your approach, you look offshore there, you just see a whole pile of turbines. That's kind of a pretty sight. A lot of people don't like seeing that, so hence the development of these way offshore wind turbines that are floating turbines. More on that in a moment. The success of floating machine turbines that can be deployed in deeper water has meant many more coastal communities can benefit. Japan and the U.S. are among the countries with the greatest potential. And look how much shorelines the U.S. has, right? Large turbines used to have a 2 to 3 megawatt output. Now the standard output is 7.5 megawatts. Turbines capable of generating up to 10 megawatts are in development. As a result, the output of one offshore turbine is 30 times greater than when the first ones deployed in 1991. And the cost, and this is an important one, the cost has fallen to half that of a new nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant is expensive as all hell to build. And then you got the issue of what to do with the waste afterward, where you're going to store it, yada yada. Or what happens if you have a Chernobyl or Fukushima or even a 3-mile type of event going on. If you reduce the cost to less than a nuclear power plant, you won't need to be building nuclear power plants. Also, let's face it, experience shows that wind blows more steadily out to sea and produces far more consistent power than turbines on land can muster. So many countries are now looking to offshore wind turbines as a major potential source of renewable energy. And the turbines can handle themselves well in extreme storm conditions. Now, of course, the question does get begged is, okay, this sounds great for countries that have a shoreline, cool, but what about those that are landlocked? Like Switzerland, okay, they're going to be forced to pay a lot for that electricity to reach their cities and towns and so on. So, for example, let's look at the Norwegian state oil company Statoil. They've now rebranded themselves as Equinor because it took them 15 years, but they're moving to develop aggressively offshore wind farms. There's also an offshore wind farm in development 15 miles off the coast of Aberdeen, which is Scotland. Listen to this. This is like, wow. There are 5 turbines. This is part of that offshore wind farm that's being developed. Each of the blades, now these are typically 3 blades, each of the blades are 175 meters long. That's about 580 feet. That's almost 2 American football field lengths. That's a huge frickin' damn blade. And you got 3 of those. Good luck hoisting that into position to attach it to the main hub. So that gives you an idea of, if these things are 175 meters in length, well, it gives you an idea how much above the sea surface level you have to construct the thing, so that when the turbine reaches the low point in its revolution, it clears the water, and clears the water when there's storm events. Now, here's the other thing. There is a counterweight that extends 78 meters below the surface. That's about, 250 feet below the surface. And then that counterweight is further chained to the seabed. Turbines are operational, and they started feeding into the grid in October 2017, and was soon exceeding expectations. Now, basically, what's really cool about this is that you hear one of the naysayers, things they'll say is, or those against going to renewable, it's going to cost jobs. And what are people going to do? And all this other stuff. Well, you have a company that is experienced in building floating offshore oil rigs. They're just going to take their expertise, take the workers who have experience in that, working in those conditions, and now they're going to build offshore wind turbines instead of an oil rig. It is very possible to switch the jobs over. It really is. So, what else can we say? Research suggests that the water depths in the North Sea are ideal for floating turbines. If half the area available could be covered in turbine, they would make enough electricity to power the whole EU 4 times over. That prediction is made by Equinor, that Norwegian company formerly known as Statoil. It also estimates in the same report that by 2030, Japan could have 3.5 gigawatts of floating wind power, France 2.9 gigawatts, the US 2 gigawatts, seems low, with a further 1.9 gigawatts in the UK and Ireland. This would make a significant contribution to reducing the world's burning of fossil fuels, since previous estimates of the growth of renewables, at least wind and solar power, have always been underestimates. So instead of burning coal or oil or gas to provide electricity for buildings, you get it from turbines, which is from wind. That would be a major step to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And it's happening, which I think is a good thing, and it's very encouraging, very positive news. I wanted to share that with you. Thank you for your time. Hey friends, this is Jim reminding you to subscribe and share my videos. Also, don't forget to click the bell so that you know when I drop a video in. And I'm also asking for you to please support the work that I do by becoming a patron at patreon.com. Details in the description box below. Thank you for your continued support.